Hi, Kathy here from Kathyskutekreations. Today is week 3, the assembly. So you should have downloaded this paper right here from the website. And if you need this sheet, which I keep always handy so I know my colors, go ahead and get it also. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this assembled. Alrighty? So instead of being Bob the Builders, we're Bobette the Builders. So let's get started. Fabric that we should have left over on our third board if you're using them. And this will be your binding strip, so we don't need that. But here we go. And let's go ahead and we're going to attach our side strips, which is this, to our blocks. So let me get the blocks off the design wall over here. Okay, so we're going to take the squares that are identical, and you're going to put a strip, one of your 10.5 by 1.5 inch wide strips on the left-hand side. Show you my little thing right here. I've already got it up here on the board, but I don't have it sewn. Let me just show you on my sewing machine here. So right here, it's going to go to the left, and we're going to put a strip on here. We're going to take the other one, looks identical to that, same direction, and put a strip on this side. So let's do that first. I'm going to sew mine upside down. So who's been having some cold weather? Because boy, have we been having some cold weather. I mean, the temperature's in the 40s. I went out to go to the grocery store this morning, but I'm going to tell you what, it felt like it was in the 30s. Whew, it was chilly. Very chilly. I wore my winter coat, and I was even cold in the store. Now, if you want to pin this, go ahead and pin it. I tell you, I've been reading some of these Facebook posts. And everybody that is a new beginner sewer, okay, so you've never sewn before, before you start sewing on your sewing machine, whether you got a brand new sewing machine or an older sewing machine, you need to be reading your manual. A young girl broke her needle. This is no lie. And you guys, if you read some of these posts, you've probably read this. So she got her first sewing machine. She's never sewn before. She broke her needle. She didn't realize that she had broke it. So I guess it broke down the shaft and she must have left it down. But all of a sudden her machine, and she has an electronic machine, wouldn't work. So she didn't think about pulling it up, taking the needle off, and then turning her machine back on. That's all it took to get it repaired. Well, she kept it in the closet. She packaged it back up and has kept it in her closet for years, thinking it was going to cost her an arm and a leg to get fixed because of its electronic one. And of course, she took it out and turned it on, and when she did, it snapped back up because, you know, it had jammed on her. And of course, it brought the needle up, which showed her the needle was broke. So all she had to do was put a brand new needle in it, and it worked just fine. But all that time, she was without her sewing machine, thinking it was going to cost her to get it fixed, which I felt kind of bad for her. She went back to her old trusty Kenmore, I believe she said. It looked similar to mine, the one that I had. But mine can't be repaired because back a long time ago when they used to make sewing machines, the part that's not the part where your, gosh, I don't even know what it's called, but it's where your thread goes through. Some of the older ones, it's stuck out of the top. Now they're buried down inside. And mine can't be replaced because it's so old, they don't have the part for it. The part that they do have for it doesn't fit my machine. I've already had it to a repair shop, and they can't, even though they bought a piece, it still can't get fixed. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to iron both of these open before we do any more. Well, wait a minute. Nope. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my middle piece, which is the one, I call it the lighter green. And we're going to take a 2.5 inch wide by 10.5 inch long, and we're going to sew it on the right and the left. Then I'm going to press it open. So let's do that next. Now remember, your stem has to be to the left, so be mindful of that. And put it to the left. Now, if for some reason you get to attach these and you realize that your piece of white fabric, or whatever you're using if you're not using the kit, is a little bit longer, don't worry about it. go ahead and put it on anyway. Because when you put your piece together, it might have ended up being a little bit smaller. And that's fine. Y'all heard the word skosh? Skosh is smaller than a little bit. Smaller than 1/8 of an inch. That's what skosh is. Alright, let's go and get this. I'm doing the right hand side and my stem is on the left, pointing to the left. Gosh, I went to the grocery store this morning and didn't even get everything I needed. Because I only went to Walmart. I didn't go to the actual grocery store. And I didn't go to a super center. Oh, shucks. It's a good thing I didn't go to the grocery store. My bill was over $100 just from the groceries. Of course, I had to buy a bag of dog food and I had to buy a bag of cat food. Every time you got to buy animal food and paper products. Of course, I had to buy Kleenex. Those things kind of rack up price-wise. And they did on me, boy. Whew. So I'm going to make do with what I have until next week. Then I'll turn around and I'll go to the grocery store next week and get a couple other things. I'm wondering if I have a chicken in my freezer. I really wanted to go to the super center and get one of those broiled chickens. Oh gosh, I just love those things. And you just gotta add your potatoes, or I think I left out my word vegetables. Okay, so anyway, I was saying, with the chicken you can make your vegetables or your potatoes, or you make a pasta dish or something like that, and just add to it with some applesauce, or and not even do that, just mix your vegetables with it. Sometimes I've done that too. And that's a whole meal right there. And the chicken's already made. I debone the chicken when I come home from the grocery store. And then I'm a dark meat kind of girl, so I'll eat the dark meat. And then if my last chicken I got, the white meat, oh my gosh, it was delicious. Normally that stuff is so dry, even when they do it in that rotisserie thing, but this one wasn't. It was delicious. You're gonna have the left-hand strip, which is the small strip, the 1.5 inch, the 2.5 inch, which is the larger strip, and it's on both sides of this, and then the smaller strip right there. Now we're gonna put it together, and I'm gonna start with this end. So I'm gonna put this together, and then I'll put this end here together. Oops, went over the pen. Let's just take this one out real quick. Wow, I folded my fabric up onto itself, and the camera lens could not get a good focus on it, and it was constantly focusing in, focusing out, focusing in, and it's like, boy, am I glad I looked over there to take a peek to see if it was lined up to be able to see. I thought maybe the fabric was going to be in the way, but it wouldn't quit trying to focus. So I pulled the fabric even further back. I didn't think I should have just went ahead and pulled my camera back a little bit. But that's okay. Got it fixed. Now we're going to take those slim pieces of white and we're going to put them around this, down the right and left-hand side strips. Or I should say the top and the bottom, looking at this thing. Put your top and your bottom strip on. And I pinned everywhere I thought it was going to flip up as I came down with the sewing machine. You can do the same thing, and then we'll meet back here and we'll start putting these really nice colors all along the entire thing. So here we have it all framed out, and now we're going to continue. Right, so the way that I've laid them out, then I'm going to sew them, and you can do it either way. Starting from the left, here's the cornerstone, okay? Then you're going to put this fabric, and this is, I did not mark it, so I can't tell you what it is right offhand. Let's see. It is the E. I should have marked it on my paper and I even thought about it. So this is E, this is I, this is J, this is K. That is our dark color, which is the B. And then we have L, and then we have our cornerstone again. So I'm just laying them out, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sew, and you can do it either way, backwards or forwards. I'm going to sew this one to here, flip it and sew it, and then sew it, and just do it, and that'll be an entire top strip. Then I'll lay the bottom strip down, and I'll do it. Then I'll lay the right and the left. The right and the left are identical. The bottom ones are, I want to say backwards. So they're the same thing. It's just that you're going to put one this direction and then one that direction. And I'll show you when we get to that point. So this row together, and it's going to be identical to the other one. So we'll just do one together. I don't think I need to pin any of this. If I did put a pin in it, I'd probably put it right smack dab in the middle. I'm just lining it up on my fabric. Oh, my needle came unthreaded somehow. I don't know. Okay, let's get going on that. That's one. Now you can't really chain stitch, because what I'm going to do is I'm taking this one, connecting to the next one, and then just constantly doing that. So just take your time. There we go. Grab the next one up here. Just make sure you put your right sides together. Uh-oh. I didn't cut that one the right size. Oh, let me go back to the drawing board and get that trimmed. Somehow I had that 2 3/4 instead of 2 1/2. So I went back and took a quarter off. So let's continue. That's looking nice. I have to put this one on. Now, for some reason, when you're totally finished and you go to lay this down and it is too short or too long, the first thing, don't think about cutting something, okay? What you need to do, go back and make sure, first off, that you sewed them all 1/4 inch. And then if you need to make it shorter, take one of your pieces that you've already sewn on there, and to make it shorter, you're going to sew along the line you've already sewn. It'll pull up the length of it so that the stitch is not 1/4 inch. It'll be a little bit more than 1/4 inch. That'll make it shorter for you. If you need to make it longer, then you need to take out a seam on one of these and extend it so that instead of 1/4, it's like 1/8 of an inch. If you got to do that on a couple of them to get it right, that's fine. Don't feel like you're a failure and you can't get it all to match. Okay, I had to come back. I had to take the cornerstones off. I don't know what I was thinking. They need to go on the left-hand strips, not the top strips. Okay, so hopefully you're watching this before you're actually sewing it. Otherwise, you're going to have to stop and take stuff out. So I took off the cornerstones, and then we're going to put them on the side ones. I'm doing the other top strip now. Alrighty, so before I even sew the sides, I went ahead and I sewed the top. So we're going to put it together. So I'm going to sew it. Took a break, took the dogs to the restroom, and then I had to put them up because they think it's time to eat dinner. It's only like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But I did notice for the past couple weeks they have been backing up for the time change, because they've been getting me up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I don't normally get up until 5. And I couldn't figure out why they kept doing it. It's been like about 2 weeks, and then I heard them talk about it out at work, and it's like, well, it's this weekend. You're supposed to be switching your clocks. I keep forgetting it is in March. For some reason, I have it in my mind that it's in April. All right, go ahead and do your other end, which is either the top or the bottom, depending on what you did. Okay, so now I'm going to do the sides, and we'll have to ignore all that little growling barking at me from downstairs. Jesus. Oh my gosh. All righty. And since I'm doing both at the same time, you can change stitch them. And they're the opposites, just like, I mean, you're going to turn them just like you did with the other, so. Oh, she's such a bossy little thing. Okay, so we're going to look at the picture. And this one here is the left side. This one is the right side. And let's see, so we're going to take this here to that one, this one to that one, and then we will put our cornerstones on last. So let's do this first. Alrighty. Now the cornerstones are going to go on each end. So yes, we can change stitch them. I don't know if that'll reach around or not. Let's just see here. Oops, there we go. There we go. And then we get this one. This came together really, really nice. Okay, let's iron them out and we'll take a look at them. They look pretty good. I'm not sure when I did this before, when I was doing the top and the bottom, if I told you that what I do is I go to the left and I pin it first. Then I go to the right and I pin it second. Then on the side ones, let me pull it this way so you can see it. I went to the middle block. So this is our middle block. And I lined this up, this right here, with this right here. Okay? Then you have 3, let me pull it up a little bit higher on the table here. So that gives you 3 of these, I'm going to call them cornerstones, 3 of these strips right here. So after you have this one attached, which is the middle, so you've attached this middle one right here. I took these 3, I pulled them taut, and then I pinned it here, and then I went ahead and I pinned it in the middle of each one. And I did that on that whole row, right of this row at the top and the bottom. But now when you come to this part here, which is the side, because this is the right side, all you're doing is you're pinning right and left, hold it taut, and then pin just these 2 right here. All right, and that's what I did. Now I'm going to sew them. Okay. Let's see, do I have that going the right way or the wrong way? All right, so don't forget you're going to nestle some of these areas, all right? So I'm nestling my cornerstones. I must say, this project's come together very good, very quick, which I really, really like. I have another project that I'm working on next week. I'm hoping to get a little bit more filming. maybe I'll have the time. I don't know if I could sandwich this together. I think I have some, oh, what is it? The fusible fleece, I think. I'm not sure, but I think I have some of that left. And I think this is going to be the perfect size. I know it's too small for a baby blanket, but I think it will fit this. Okay, go ahead and do your other side, and then we're going to take a look at this. Okay, there it is. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. If you'd like to make a comment, you can. And I'll see you in the next video. And I want to welcome all the new YouTube subscribers. And I want to thank Fort Worth Fabric Studio for creating this beautiful table runner. Now, if for some reason this color is next to that color, you've put this strip on incorrectly. So that's what you want to fix. Alrighty? And it is adorable. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. Bye-bye.